And Rhea Ripley being the final piece to this equation of what is about to be every woman for themselves. And now the bell rings. One of these 6 women will be able to call themselves Miss Money in the Bank. Alexa Bliss has already done so before. Can she do it again? You've got somebody like Naomi, a multi-time women's champion. You've got a Rhea Ripley, who's competing in her first, but has done some incredible things, proving to be one of the hottest stars in WWE over the last few years. Then you have the likes of a Stephanie Vaquer. You've got a Julia. Those who have made their names internationally and have been working their way through the main roster after coming up from NXT. Much like a Roxanne Perez, who, the young up-and-comer, working her way up and would love to put herself right at the front line of the women's division and be that wild card and just have that hanging over both world's champions. Whether that be Tiffany Stratton or Io Sky. Look at that innovative, temporary teamwork of Rhea Ripley and Alexa Bliss taking out Naomi. And now it comes down to Rhea Ripley and Alexa Bliss. Alexa was going to go after the ladder, but Roxanne and Julia come right back into the equation. Roxanne Perez has had an interesting last few weeks, kind of trying to prove herself to the Judgment Day, that she belongs with the Judgment Day. And Stephanie Vaquer flying out of nowhere with a cross body and an eat defeat to Julia. And it's Roxanne who gets caught, and so does Julia. Oh, it could be time to take. Boom! And there goes Roxanne out of the equation. And now this could be Vaquer's opportunity. Oh, what a roundhouse kick. And the flexibility and the athleticism of Naomi working into her favor right now as she looks up at the case with that contract of gold. No. Oh no, this isn't going to be good. Driving Rhea Ripley face first as her head bounced off the ladder. But you might want to turn around because there's somebody twisted behind you. What a slap and some heavy shots from Bliss, who sends Naomi face first. And the ladder, much like Perez. And a senton to Perez and Naomi. And now it's Bliss, who is showing an unblissful experience for Roxanne Perez and Naomi. And speaking of unblissful experiences, that drop kick from Julia takes out Alexa Bliss. And now it's Julia with that ladder in hand. Julia, who is a former NXT Women's Champion, would love to become a women's champion and put herself right in front of the line. A VIP pass right to the top. With no string, with the only string attached is that you have a year. But if we're being realistic, that's quite more than reasonable. It's quite more than enough time to come up with a strategy of having the right time to cash in. We've seen those who have waited till the last minute to cash in. It's all about the waiting game. When the champions least expect it, that's when it's going to happen. But you better play nice with whoever holds that briefcase, especially if you're the champion. If you're one of the two champions, whether that be Tiffany Stratton, whether that be Io Sky, you got to be careful. Some history that's been going on Raw the last couple months between these two. Rhea Ripley with a drop kick. Turns down Julia's momentum. The Eradicator looking to win her first ever ladder match and first ever Money in the Bank to put her right back in the world title conversation. Right back in the main event scene, right where she belongs. Talk about the power of Rhea Ripley. She just dragged Perez that was holding onto that ladder. We're really dragging the ladder that Perez was holding on to. And Rhea just dropping Naomi on that ladder. Rhea Ripley not holding back whatsoever, showing that there is no stop to the Eradicator. That bloody Rhea Ripley. Bloody Ripley, should I say, is not going anywhere. And the Prodigy is about to be on the receiving end of... Oh, no. This is a gut wrench turned into like a razor's edge, but it gets countered into a Hurricane Rana by Perez. Great counter by Perez. So resourceful as... Look at the resourcefulness of Perez as she takes out Rhea Ripley onto the ladder. And now looks up at her chance. Grab the ladder. Climb. And grab the briefcase. But you gotta wonder, is now the right opportunity? There's nobody in sight to really get in this situation. All 5 other competitors are down. Although I will say, Rhea Ripley being in the ring still is a bit of a concerning factor. Alexa Bliss knows the game well and takes out the Prodigy. And Julia with a forearm to a Bliss. Look at this. These two of the hottest rising stars in WWE. You're looking at the future of this company on opposite ends of the ladder. And then they turn their attention to Rhea Ripley. That's really what you have to do. The biggest target of the match is Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley has been on top for so long, the last couple of years, that she's the obvious target to take out of the equation. And they work together to slam the ladder on Rhea Ripley. And they drop the other ladder. And onto Rhea. And now they're working together for the time being. They realize that Rhea Ripley's the big target. Got to take her fully out of the equation. Make sure there is no opportunity for Rhea Ripley to become the women's Money in the Bank holder. You got the main roster rookies who are nothing short of superstars. I really hate using that term rookie. Julia's an international superstar. Roxanne Perez made her name widely known in NXT and has been making shockwaves since debuting on the main roster. I hate to use rookie. Despite being rookies on the main roster, it's really such a rough word to use. But meanwhile, Naomi, someone who is definitely not a rookie, a veteran in this match, realizes her opportunity is there to climb the ladder. A great opportunity, but Vicaire, for her first time in a ladder match, first time in Money in the Bank, pulls Naomi off the ladder. It's just so much that happens. It's really hard to find the right opportunity. It's really about kind of playing it low and staying low for a while until you find that right opportunity to say, okay, the gate's open. Now it's time to drive through and take my shot. That's when it happens. Oh my God. That dragon screw leaving Naomi writhing in pain. Vicaire with a suplex to Perez. And good luck for Naomi. Vicaire wisely targeting the knee, which is going to make it harder for Naomi to climb the ladder. And now it's Vicaire's opportunity, but Julia going to meet Vicaire. La Primera pulled down by Julia, who's got the octopus lock. Look at the submission hold. Obviously, there are no submissions in this match. What? Look at this. Stephanie Vicaire is climbing the ladder with Julia on her back. You talk about grit. You talk about power. You talk. It was. Oh no. And a German suplex by Julia. Gotta give credit where credit is due to Stephanie Vicaire, who, despite competing in her third match in the last 24 hours, still is showing that she's got quite a bit left in the tank. Now is it Julia's time? Naomi, a one-legged warrior, a one-winged warrior, whatever you want to say. She's got to push through. And now it's Julia who's caught up, and Naomi just going to walk right over her. And Julia dumping Naomi. And Bliss with a drop kick. Bodies going everywhere. And Bliss, who cashed in successfully the first time around, would love to do it. Would love to become Miss Money in the Bank again. But she's so close. But on her trail is the prodigy herself, Roxanne Perez. Bliss started to get her fingertips on the briefcase, but Roxanne Perez meets her as they climb the tippy top of the ladder. But Vicaire looks to make this a whole lot more interesting inside the ring as another ladder of equal size comes into play. And now Stephanie climbs up the ladder. Now this becomes interesting because on the opposite side of her is Naomi, who on one bad knee is doing everything she can to make the climb. While Alexa Bliss tries to pull down Naomi, Vicaire and Perez fighting on the other side. Now it's Julia who tries to get back up. Alexa Bliss going after Vicaire. Power bomb of Vicaire into the mat. And now it's Perez. It's Julia. But they both get knocked off the ladder. But Perez was able to catch her footing. And just nailing Bliss off the ladder. The steel of that ladder hitting the face of Alexa Bliss, or vice versa, however you want to say it. Oh no. This is not going to be good for Alexa Bliss. This spells disaster. Oh, I felt that in my mid-set, my gut. Literally. I'd say I have a bad gut feeling, but I think Alexa Bliss does after being dropped on her midsection first on that ladder. We need to get another look at this. Oh my God. Ugh. These two we've seen little bits of these two working. I spoke too soon. Never mind. Let me just stop talking. But in all seriousness, though, what I was going to say is these two are working quite well. But as I mentioned earlier, temporary alliances. But I would like to talk about how temporary alliances are temporary for a reason. They not meant to last. But look who's left. The puddle of ladders. And Roxanne Perez realizes her fate has been sealed as Rhea Ripley rises up. Mommy is back as she rises up and looks to be back at the top. Oh, what a wicked clothesline that takes out Julia and another one. This is not what you want from Rhea Ripley at all right now. Not at this point in the match after everything that's taken place. And the power of Ripley coming into effect with a big boot taking out Naomi. As Roxanne Perez going to be punished for getting involved with Rhea Ripley, who dumps Perez into Naomi. As Rhea Bloody Ripley levels the playing field. And now the emotions are coming in. The 17,000 plus strong of the WWE Universe here in the sold out Intuit Dome in Los Angeles behind the Eradicator. Oh, this is about to be Rhea Ripley's brutality for Julia, who gets nailed into the ladder. I think Julia's body just started convulsing after connecting with that ladder. Rhea's got another ladder. That's a big ladder. That is right there. You climb that ladder, you're on your way to a women's championship. This is the 10th women's ladder match for the Money in the Bank. And look at that by Vaquer. Well, I guess the 9th. And Rhea Ripley wants to be back on top. She says mommy is always on top. And with the newest additions of the roster, with Julia, with a Roxanne Perez, they've kind of gotten in the way of Rhea Ripley, who had her momentum going for her. Speaking of momentum, Stephanie Vaquer's momentum on the main roster could be stopped right now. Oh no. Another idea for Ripley. And up. No. And now they're up on the ladder. And there it is. Look at that. From Stephanie Vaquer, who slams the face of Rhea Ripley. Take your shot. Take your pick. Because Money in the Bank is in your grasps. Stephanie Vaquer is all alone. But Perez. Look at this, Roxanne Perez. Like a snake slithering her way through the garden. Finds her way to prevent Stephanie Vaquer from retrieving the briefcase. Face first. Nails Vaquer. And now it's Alexa Bliss who climbs the ladder. Now you've got Naomi back into the mix. What's left in the tank for any of these 6 women in this contest? Vaquer now going to return the favor to prevent Roxanne Perez from retrieving the briefcase. Oh my. Vaquer. Because you could say she's living vicariously. Oh. But Roxanne blocks. Vaquer was trying to fight through Perez to get to the top. But Perez, who fights back, and now it's Alexa Bliss on the opposite side of things, going at it with Naomi, as Naomi prevents Alexa Bliss from furthering her climb to the top of the mountain. That proverbial mountain that is this ladder that has the Money in the Bank briefcase above it as it swings and sways back and forth, just waiting to be retrieved as the key to the future of one of these 6 women. Oh my God. On opposite sides of the spectrum. Double code red. 1 for Naomi. 1 for Vaquer. 4 women out inside the ring. We've got code reds on the ladder. Alexa Bliss to Naomi. Roxanne Perez to Stephanie Vaquer. And meanwhile, Julia looking to come in and pick up the pieces. Julia now finds herself with a great opportunity. But will she fully capitalize on it? Now what? There's just bodies laid out everywhere. This would be the opportunity to climb up the ladder. Julia, what's she thinking? And now it's Julia looking to make the climb. And Julia points at that briefcase, but did she waste too much time repositioning? She wanted to make sure it was positioned right. I mean, she would have been on angle, but was there too much time? I mean, that just comes with the damage and the wear and tear on the body when you compete in a match like this. She's got her hands on the carabiner, but Perez is back up at the top. And these 2 go at it. This is 14 feet up in the air. The thing is, one of these women will stay up. One will crash and burn. One will become Miss Money in the Bank. Julia now looking to do it. Can she unclip? Roxanne pulling on the hair. She's got a handful of that hair of Julia. But Alexa Bliss pulls down Perez. Look at Rhea Ripley. You hear the audience in favor of Ripley. Uh-oh. Julia gets caught in a riptide. And Alexa Bliss takes out Roxanne Perez. We saw a little of this earlier than coming face to face before things would turn around. And now, these two women have quite the accolades, quite the resumes in their tenure with WWE as they pull the ladder back and forth to center it, to climb the ladder. Who is going to make their climb? Rhea Ripley got her hands on that briefcase, but it's Alexa Bliss who fights back. Naomi looking to push both of these women off the ladder. And onto the ladder that was set up in the corner earlier by Julia. Bliss, Ripley down in the corner. Naomi with a chance to become Miss Money in the Bank, to become a women's champion once again. She's all alone. Nobody is around. There is nobody to stop this. Naomi is at the top, and Naomi is Miss Money in the Bank. What a win for Naomi. Oh boy, if I were Io Sky, I would watch your back. Naomi can cash in anytime, anywhere for up to 1 year. And that is going to be the longest year of Io Sky's life, as long as she's still the women's world champion. And you thought what happened here was Ripley and Alexa Bliss, with two of the biggest resumes in WWE, going at it. And then what would happen is Naomi would get involved, take her shot, and would claim her crown, claim the contract, so that she can be your 2025 Miss Money in the Bank. And now, with the 100% success rate in the back of her mind, there's a very likely chance that Miss Money in the Bank, Naomi, is soon going to either be Women's World Champion or WWE Women's Champion. A tough moment for the likes of Stephanie Vaquer, for a Roxanne Perez, for a Julia, for Alexa Bliss, for Rhea Ripley. Because Naomi took that attitude change of hers that she felt she needed, and she used it to push herself right back to the top